What's up you guys? Welcome to your third Python tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create a basic calculator that will take two inputs and basically just sum them together. So we're going to create a variable that will allow you to input something and store it in that variable, second variable, and the third line of code, we're only going to print the sum of these two variables. So stay tuned, it's going to be great. So enough me talking and let's get started. So the first variable we're going to start with is x. You can name your variable whatever you want, tuna, monkey, whatever you want. I'm going to name mine x. So in that variable, we're going to say input, like we learned in the past tutorials, the last tutorial, and we're going to say your enter, or we can say enter the first number here. And then we can basically take all that, copy it, paste it, done, easy cake. Set that equal to y. The reason why you would set that equal to y because you don't want Python to get confused. Are you talking about this variable or are you talking about this variable? So what we have so far is you will allow the user to input something. The user would see this message and then you would allow it to input something and it would be stored in X. You will allow the user to input another thing, it would be stored in Y. So this is enter the first number. Let's tell him enter the second number. Alright, so that's good. So, and then we would just do print x plus y. Guys, there is something that I want you to notice. Okay, this is very important. If there's one thing that I want you to remember from this tutorial is this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just print something here that says this is the sum of x and y. And I'm gonna separate these two by a comma. All right. So watch what happens, guys. This is I really want you to focus and I want you to remember this. Okay. So if you run this, what will you realize is if I input 1 in the first one, press enter, and if I inputted 1 in the second one, in the second option, which is y, it's gonna output 11. And the reason why it outputs 11, it's because it treats whatever you input as a string. So whatever you input here will be treated as a string by default. So I want you to know, like, just for reference, that whatever you want to input, you just make sure that you tell Python that, okay, whatever you're gonna input here, I want you to convert it to a string, to an integer. So what you should do is just do this. int and then go and then close that and do the same thing here. int, and you guessed it, it's a short form for integer. Why did they call it int? I don't know why. I guess it's just how it is. So int, it will take these whatever you input here and it will convert it to an integer and then it would store it in a variable x. It will take whatever you input here and it will store it, convert it to an integer and then it will store it in the variable y. And then it's very clear what I'm doing here. I'm just printing a message, comma, and then the sum of two. Now, if we run this program again, we'll see if we do 1, enter, 1, enter, you'll realize that the answer is not 11. The answer is 2. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, the answer is 2. And the reason why it's 2 is because you told Python that whatever the user inputs, please convert it to into an integer. So there's another thing that I want to teach you guys is this. So for example, let's say you don't know if the user is going to input something with a decimal point or not. So let's say if you input something with a decimal point. Let's say you want the sum of 8.5 with something else. So as soon as you press enter, boom, a value error. Why this error came is because you told Python that the user is going to input an integer, and now your user is inputting a float. So what's going on? So what you can do is this. You can just say float and change that to float. And then once you run this again, if you put 8.5, 8 point blah 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 5 4, and then it would just take that and x and y and just sum it together, and it will give you the value. See, to sum everything up, I'm just gonna repeat what I just said, and so this line of code right here will allow you to input a number, and it will convert it to whether a float or an integer, or by default just keep it as a string, and it will store it in variable x, and it would do the same thing for the second one. And here all you're doing is saying that this is the sum of x and y, and what you need to surround these by um, um, you need to surround them by um, quotations. If you didn't, it would not allow you. See, it would give you an error. So surround them by quotations, and after that put a comma and then put what you want to sum. So I hope this tutorial been helpful, and I hope it's been clear, because I know like some videos on YouTube, they just say stuff and sometimes it's not clear. So yeah, if you want to do a video, it must be clear, or don't do a video at all. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.